Okay, this is Zoltan's tail. I'm gonna wait for him to turn around. I want to show you something that he does that I think is pretty special. He's come a long way as far as enjoying company and people interacting with him. He's not nearly as fearful as he was. He's not nearly as jumpy as he was. Pick something out of his tail. But what I want to show you is how affectionate he's actually turned out to be and what we've come up with. First off, he's going to touch me. Just press his nose onto me. Okay? What he's asking for is for me to cup his chin. Hold his chin. So I'm going to hold his chin. He's going to lay his head more into me. And then, as you can see, he's pushing down. And this is how we love. He loves the love. He's not biting me. He's not even threatening to bite me. He's just pressing down. Getting very into it this morning. Getting very into it this morning. So if I stop, he'll probably just press his face into me. Because that's what he, I'm hoping he doesn't take a new step and try to bite my zipper or something. But he usually just presses into you asking for that. So I'm going to cup his chin again. Start rubbing his head. And as you watch, he's going to start to lower his head into my hand. And this is our thing. And he just loves it. And if I lower him, I won't drop his head down, but I'll lower him down. Okay? And then let's see if I step away, he'll press himself into me. Now, mind you, this is being invited. I'm not saying I want this horse to constantly touch me and press into me. He's being invited to interact with me this way. I'm not saying every time I'm around him I want him to do this. But, again, cup his chin, and you watch he'll lower his head into my hand. And I can raise him back up and lower him down. Raise him back up. He just wants to love. Okay, I'm going to gently let go because he'll follow my hand down. He just loves this moment, okay? So you figure what? I've spent 3 minutes in here, if that long. A minute and a half. No, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Now, do we all have that? Because that was very special for him. Okay? So that's all I'm saying is don't act like the little bit of time you have isn't valuable to your horse, because I think you can recognize how valuable this moment is to him. Blink softly. Those nice soft blinks, almost like you're ready to go sleep. Okay, I'm gonna let him go. Okay, so this cute as a button little dude is Hunter. He is stuck inside because of the mud. We got quite a bit of rain yesterday. Most of our general area got snow, but for some reason we lucked out and we only got rain, but it still makes for a problem. So, I can't tell you, no, got some of his quirks, I guess, or some of his mannerisms are one that he's doing right now is he yawns a lot. And he likes to yawn in your face with his tongue sticking out and things like that. So let's see if he offers that. He likes to see if he can get away with touching you with his nose first, and then if that does, and you'll see he'll move away quickly. There's a yawning thing, and then he'll move away quickly as if to say, "No, I didn't mean to touch you." And so let's see if he taps my clothes. Like he'll tap my shirt, I'll step away so you can see. He'll tap my shirt, and then he'll quickly move just in case there's a reaction. And then if there's not a reaction, he'll come back and stay longer. If there's not a reaction, then he'll maybe part his lips and move away real quickly. If there's not a reaction, then he might even go as far as attempting to bite my shirt. He does not bite skin, but he does have a bad habit of biting clothes. So he likes to do this yawn thing in my face normally, so here we go. It's funny when you know them, like you can read them like a book, so here we go. I might get yawned at in the face one time, because he likes to do the in the face deal. So, okay, he's going to see if he can get away with touching my clothes. Oh, really? Did she respond? No. How about... I'm going to try to touch it one more time. I'm not trying to influence him. I'm trying to have my... That's why I'm looking at the camera. I'm trying to have my focus completely away from him. See if he touches it again. You'll see he'll kind of jerk away like, okay, is she going to come after me again? I'm being almost too passive at this point. He's like, okay, I guess we're just going to nap together. Yelling in my face, because that's what he does. Okay, he's going to see if he touches me. Trying very hard not to invite it, because that's not good behavior that he does. See his lip, he's considering it now. I'm going to step away a tiny bit so you can see the space between us. I'm trying not to encourage it. Okay, so I'm going to leave him alone because I don't want actually him to take it as far as I know he will. So I'm going to just say, yep, that was good. I'm glad you showed good behavior. And you left me alone. Didn't try to bite my shirt. You just touched me and yawned in my face, because that's what you're doing. You yawn in my face. Right? Is that all you do? You just yawn in my face. Huh? You want to do it again? You're going to yawn in my face. Go ahead, do it. Yawn in my face. That's what Hunter does. Almost like it's his way of testing the water right now. He puts one foot in the water by yawning in your face. You're funny. You are funny. Good job. So, and he's kind of cool, because if you tell him that, you know, to ask you for what he wants, and of course what I'm doing right now is something he would love to have. So if I were to stop and say, would you like me to do that again, he'll kiss me. Good boy. Good boy. And then I'll go ahead and give him what he asked for. So, want that again? Want that again? Okay. Oh, that's okay too. You want that again? You want that again? You're going to look for another way to ask for it? You can do it. Yes, of course I'll do that for you again. How about that? You want that again? I thought you did. So now let's see, his water bucket's right behind him. I don't want to ask him to back up. So I'm not quitting on what I wanted to do. I just wanted to set him up better. So I'm going to ask him to over now. There it goes. Okay, even with the muck bucket there, he trusted me enough to believe that, I mean, his high leg is right up against it. That is really what I was looking for. Did you like that? Yes. Good job. Okay. Okay. So here's another one of my imprisoned because of the mud horses. He doesn't belong to me. This is Luxor. He's stuck indoors because we have too much mud.
I know this clip is long.
So,
However, it's
one
important
of
to
the
see
things
how
that I
early
wanted
on
to
Luxor
cover
communicated to me
is all
about
the
what
things that
he
you
was
can
going to
teach
do.
a horse
I hope it at least shows that they talk
doing
to us
simple
well
tasks.
before something actually
For
happens.
example, I'm cleaning his stall. And it's a simple task, and it's a task where either we always engage with our horses or we try to get our horses to stay very disengaged from us so we can continue to be productive. In his case, he's busy playing with the bucket, but that'll lose its interest or lose its appeal, and he'll want to visit with me eventually. So what I want to cover is one of the things that you can teach a horse.
Watch for the clear communication of what he wants from me. He's going to face me and shake his head.
How to move away from you when you ask them to. How to... Stop it. He's communicating to me right now, which I don't know that you would understand that. So right now what he just told me is I want to roll because you're making dust, and dust makes me want to roll. And he's shaking his head because it's upsetting him that I am in here complicating his decision to roll. He's chosen to get over it for a second, so you'll see that that will escalate. It's not over by any means because he is a stallion, so he tends to kind of make threats, if you will. He's not being aggressive about it, but he is communicating to me that I am in his space, and he has also told me what he wants me to leave because of. He wants to roll. I'm going to continue to stay in his space, and what he's going to do, and you may not be able to see it as well as you'll be able to hear it, but he's going to back himself up against the wall and bang his rear end into the wall. And I believe the reason he does that is not so much like his temper tantrum that he's telling me, you need to leave, you need to leave, I need you to leave. Like, I don't think he's necessarily having a fit because I won't leave. I think he's testing the perimeters of the stall. I think he's trying to get a measurement, to be perfectly honest with you. Because he does it on multiple walls before he finally lays down. The only thing is that it's an absolute compulsion. It's almost like he can't help it. He has to do this. So, like, he's over it for a minute, and trust me, he's not done. He'll communicate with me one more time, asking me to leave, and basically telling me to leave because I'm in his space and literally in his space, and he wants to use that space to roll. But he'll get himself to where he's actually crouching down. He'll bang himself into the wall, and then he'll crouch down like, you've got to leave. You don't, you know. I mean, not to equate it with you needing to use the bathroom, but he gives you that sense of urgency. Like, you have to leave, you know, I have to do this. So right now, thank goodness, he's cooperating a little bit and finding something to interest him. When that loses its appeal, he'll go back to insisting that I leave so he can roll. And I'm glad that the compulsion, you know, the dire need to do this right now has not taken over. He mentioned it already, but he's luckily going to, and maybe we can get a little work done. Because so what I'm trying to do with this exercise is when he engages with me and he's not insisting I leave, I'm going to teach him how to get away from me. Now, I have look out is a cue, and it's just a sound, and I'm not going to do it right now because he'll respond to it. But it's like a shushing sound, and that's my way of telling them to look out. And it can mean anything. It can mean move your whole body. It can mean move your head out of whatever. Like, for example, if when you're checking out the contents of the muck bucket, I might go, see, like right now, if I don't want to hit him in the face with what I've got, I'll go shh. And normally he wouldn't stay looking at it. He would lift his head out of there. Shh. So today he's acting like he doesn't know that. So that's a look out. It means look out, something's coming your way. You could get hit by something. Perhaps you ought to stop doing whatever it is you're doing. Away is a command that means I want your body, or whatever part of you I put my focus on to move away from me. So if I would, hey, so I might actually let him believe that there was a reason he needed to do that. See if he responds better this time. Okay, that's kind of what it's supposed to be. See, now he didn't respond. He got a reaction. There we go. See, now we learned. Now we learned. Good job, buddy. So, like, even little things like that, it means look out. So now he understands it. You know, he actually always understood it, but for whatever reason, he challenged it today. Away could mean, I want your shoulders to move away, and that's where my focus would go. My focus will go on whatever part of the body I want them to move away from me. So if I wanted them to move their whole body away from me, I would say away and put my focus on their rib cage. So now he's going to start throwing himself against the wall. Now we see the shaking of the head. He's expressing irritation that I'm still in here and he would like to roll. He's going to start banging himself against the wall. He might just go down. So he's mad at me again. Yep, he's mad at me. Trust me, he didn't suddenly get a bug in his ear. This is communication. So like he's going to start throwing himself against the wall. So I don't know if you can hear that. He just threw himself against the wall. He'll go around in circles, or he'll just go down. Okay, so if you've never experienced a horse casting, that was a resolved cast, but he scared himself, so come here. You're okay. See, we don't roll all the way over. You've never done that, huh? You don't normally roll all the way over. You okay? Yeah. Maybe being in your way was a problem, huh? Because you chose on the spot. He normally actually rolls quite close to the wall, so he can't get all the way over. So he normally rolls to where it kind of bangs his opposite rib, and then he rolls back off. So that's what it is when a horse casts, is when they roll, and then they can actually get to their feet or against the wall. In this case, he resolved it. Some horses will get stuck there. There's a young lady who met Ritz kind of more personally and more intimately one time when he rolled himself up against a wall like that when he was about 11 months old. And she said she couldn't believe it. Her energy was so intense because she was so scared, but he waited for her to figure out how to help him. And she said it was the coolest thing. She's like, she was able to leave, go get ropes, lead ropes and wrap them around his legs and pull him back over. And I don't know if she subscribes to my videos, but she would certainly comment that yes, indeed, that this happened, and she couldn't believe how calm he was. And that's all based on what I teach, is I teach them to move to pressure. So when he got rolled up against the wall and he couldn't get himself back down, he waited for somebody to come help him. And I've had other examples of that with him, where he got his foot way up and over a fence rail, and my farrier will attest to that, is he literally was standing there. We were on our way out to go get him, didn't know there was anything to be, concerned about. And I looked, and I said, "Does he have his foot over the fence?" And the more it became clear that he did, essentially we both started running. And quickly my smarter side of my brain said, don't run, don't give him a reason to think there's panic, because if you bring panic, you create panic. If I had kept running to him, like, oh my God, let me save you, there's a really good chance that he would have picked up on my sense of panic and then gone ahead and began to panic himself, where he was otherwise being very calm. So quickly I took down my energy and we just proceeded to walk out there. I was able to literally walk up to the horse, grab his leg, raise it as high as I could, because the fence line was, believe it or not, well above. When he stood, now he's 16'1", when he stood the fence was, like standing up straight with his head up normal. The fence was like under his throat latch, like not chest high, not knee high, like not, like throat latch high. So for him to have his foot way up over there and then just be standing there like, a little help here was pretty cool. So I was able to get his leg lifted up and over, and, we took him in and, gave him his trim or whatever, but it was just the work that goes into it. Like him, he handled being just kind of hung up on the wall there for a minute quite well. I'm hoping that he doesn't do it again, but the compulsion to roll, like, overcomes him pretty bad. So he may again tell me to leave, he may again bang himself against the wall. And who knows, maybe the way he bangs himself against the wall is because that's happened to him not in my presence, and he does look for the perimeters. Maybe that is truthful, that his banging himself against the wall is to make a measurement. Where is the wall in relation to where I'm going to lay down? Who knows? I mean, I'd love to think that he's actually that intelligent. However, it didn't work out for him this time. Where he can actually calculate measurements.
So this is Logan, and he came to me to be started. He was a client's horse, and he was 5.5 when he was gelded. He was a breeding stallion, so he actually has some babies. And he's a Clydesdale thoroughbred cross, which you wouldn't really know it by looking at him, that he has Clydesdale in him maybe. But his babies, based on the pictures of the babies that I've seen, all look like your basic bay, big blaze, stockings, Clydesdales. They didn't end up gray like him. He came to me just after 6, I believe. And as you can see, he was very gentle. He wasn't a stallion you'd be afraid to be in his space. But this is when he first arrived to my farm. And this is the time that I spend with horses when they first come to spend some training time with me. I spend all my time in the beginning just trying to bond with the horse, just trying to develop a relationship with the horse, and to make sure that there's enough bond and love and affection between us that we have something to work with. As far as when things like what's about to happen in a second happen, I can quickly regain their trust. So as you can see in this clip right here, we're getting along pretty good, but now he's going to maybe think he explores more than he should. And my hands coming up are kind of a evidence of what maybe was part of being a stallion's life. He got a little too friendly, and in his opinion, he thought he was about to be reprimanded for that. Since I had spent the last couple minutes and, a couple sessions before he arrived to my farm bonding with him, I was able to quickly say, "Oh, no, it's okay. You didn't need to react that way. I wasn't about to hit you, man. You're okay. You're okay. You're allowed to look at me." So I just wanted to kind of show that if you were to bring your horse to me to be trained, to be worked with, this is the kind of time that I would spend with your horse right in the beginning. And one of the things I always tell people is your horse is going to love me. This horse was not mine at this time. I admit I fell in love with him and I insisted on purchasing him, and Logan is mine now. This is a special case. But I always tell people your horse is going to love me. And when I try to explain to people that should be okay with you, you want your horse to love his trainer. You want your horse to get the most out of his training sessions.
Even though it makes it a little more difficult, I don't discourage my horses from trying to engage with me when they're in their stalls. I'm the only one that mucks out their stalls, so it's not a problem to have them interested in me. Of course, if my horses were kept in a boarding facility, I would probably spend a little less time encouraging this, so that people who are responsible for doing the stalls at the facility were not constantly trying to do the stall around a horse that's just getting in their way. When it's your job, you just want to do the job. I understand that. Teddy here is only 11 months old, so I'm going to encourage his interactions with me.
You want to visit? Okay. Look at me shoulder. Yeah, visit over here. Visit over here. You're too big for this thing. You're too big. So he's a little stretched out. It's hard to tell how big he actually is. Can you stand up straight? Stand straight there. That's better. That's better straight. Maybe different perspective would be from the other side. Hi! You are a small boy. You're getting to be so dead. So bad. Just getting so dead. Yes, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
A year later,